Welcome back. KwaZulu-Natal Premier Zikalala says a committee has been established to deal with the burial of flood victims. He also says the disaster burial policy adopted by the Provincial Executive Council will assist the families of victims. This follows an outcry from funeral directors in the province who say that bureaucracy and confusion are delaying the funerals of hundreds of flood victims. Zikalala has been giving an update on the impact of the floods in the province.
With regard to the slow progress on funeral parlors, I think we can refer that issue to the issue of we have established the committee that deals with funerals. And in case where there are delays, we would want to expedite that. But as of this morning, when I spoke to the MEC for Health, checking whether there are outstanding postmortems, she was clear that there was only one body. So we are doing all we can at that level to clear and move to the funerals where people are buried. If the assistance is taking long, we will implore the committee to work and ensure that it is speeding the process.
All right, and a lot of this is about how the families access the money that has been announced. The municipality said earlier it would give 20,000 rand to each family that has lost a relative. For more on the concerns of undertakers in KwaZulu-Natal, we're now joined by Nomfundo Mcoyi, who is the SA Funeral Practitioners Association Chair. Thank you for being with us. I think you've said that no more than 50 bodies of the more than 430 people who were killed are actually being buried this weekend. Is that still the case as far as you know?
Francis, it is still the case as we speak. The bodies that have been buried, they're slightly above 50, but they're not more than 100. Looking at that, we had 448. So we're still left with a lot. There's still a long way to go.
Why is this happening?
It's because of the pace. The pace of the claims is too long and it's not clear. And the officials, the interference of officials in funeral planning, and the officials, they come and moan during the day and present themselves as pallors in the evening to families. And they influence families to choose pallors. They must allow families to choose pallors of choice. And there's a problem with
What do you mean? What are you claiming? That officials are possibly even taking bribes to recommend certain parlors? What is happening?
That's what we think, because they come during the day, mourn with the family. The bodies are still at government mortuary. Then they would influence families to bury with the parlors of choice and also come back later as parlors themselves. I think now they're starting small companies just to take advantage of the money that's been put forward by funders for burials.
Yeah, well, that would be extraordinary. So has it been clarified that the funeral parlor gets the 20,000 rand, or does the family get the 20,000 rand to spend with whichever parlor they want to?
Yes, the 20,000 rands at the moment to speed up the process is paid to the parlors so that the process can be quicker. Can I just finish on the other problems that we have? The other problems is catering. Families are crying for food. They need food. We know in our culture, we eat at funerals. There is no food. And remember, they don't even have homes. And there's no budget for catering. And also, government mortuary is very slow in releasing bodies. Yes, postmortems may have been done, but bodies need to be with undertakers to be buried. They can't be buried by the government mortuary. And the amount of 20,000 rands, the funders that pledged the money, they are only paying 20,000 per family. And the next member of the family, it's 10,000. It's no longer what they said in the beginning. In the beginning, it was 20,000 per body, but now it's no longer 20,000. And the graves are a problem as well. In that 20,000, you have to include the grave as well. And it's such a problem at the moment.
All right, so 20,000 rand is not enough?
It's not. It can't do a decent burial. But now when we have to add the grave as well, if they can take off the grave, it will be fine. If municipality can give us graves, it would help a lot.
Yeah.
Give families graves to use for burials.
All right, you're saying that the 20,000 Rand is being paid out slowly. If people have come to you, for example, has some of that money been released? How slow is slow? Are families just waiting for the money to be released?
We haven't seen anything. We've submitted everything. We buried, some company buried 35, another one 37, and some they buried between 5 and 10 bodies. But it's not a lot that was buried, but none of those bodies have been paid. We've submitted everything, but no payment, no money in our bank accounts. And yet we need to pay, we need to buy caskets, we need to pay for, we need fuel, we need a lot of things, we need chemicals to treat these bodies. There's a lot that we need to pay for, but we haven't been paid. Yeah. Money was pledged, we've submitted, but no payment yet.
And is that making funeral parlors very reluctant to bury any more bodies? So that's the holdup and why we're seeing so few funerals.
No. We are willing to bury. We can even try bury even before and submit. And submit later. But it's putting a strain on us. It's stretching us a bit. It would help if they can pay. If they can pay as promised. We're promised to be paid before burial, and that is what they're not doing.
Yeah. Have you received correspondence from government, and are you heartened at all to hear what the Premier was saying, that they're taking this very seriously?
I wish that committee that Premier is talking about can have a funeral undertaker on it. One or two people from our committee, because we've sat down as associations, we've organized ourselves and agreed on certain terms. And if we could have people in that committee, because we are in the industry, we are the ones burying. They are just sitting in committees. They know nothing about burial, nothing at all. They are just making decisions on something they know nothing about. So it would help a lot. It would speed up the process as well, because the process is lengthy and it's not clear. And there are too many people. There are people from the funders, the people from health, the people from Premier's office, the people from municipality. There are 4 lists. Before the name is confirmed amongst all these lists, they're not paying for it, which is very, very unfair to families. And honestly, it's 2 weeks now. People are still sitting with bodies for 2 weeks. Just imagine a person that died from water, from drowning. They're not in a good state. Keeping them for 2 weeks, it's even worse.
Yeah, this is a worrying situation. I just want to clarify one thing before you go. So you say you haven't seen a cent in relation to those 20,000 Rand payments. So as an undertaker, you have to take on the responsibility, the upfront cost. Do you know if other undertakers have received any payments thus far?
We are 6 associations. We all sit representing all the parlors in KZN. No one has received a cent in their bank accounts. Even for those that we submitted for, we've never received a cent. No one has been paid yet.
All right, we'll follow this very sad situation. Thank you. From the SA Funeral Practitioners Association, Nomfundo Mcoyi. Let's take a look at your weather now.